We have multiple Toronto Blue Jays free agency updates to go over today as Jeff Passan has just dropped a new article revealing some very interesting details surrounding the Jays' plans. We also have numerous reports regarding the Blue Jays and updated news surrounding their interest in Santander as well as Alex Bregman. So stay tuned for all that in this episode. But before we get into it, quick reminder, hit the subscribe button. If you're part of the 70% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. And Peter is also here via audio, so we're going to hear from him in a second. But there's a lot to go over today, and obviously reports are swirling, as we know, and the Jays have yet to land a big free agent. Now, whether that's Santander, Alex Bregman, those are the two guys that are still on the Jays' radar and are still remaining. But like we saw in yesterday's video, they have other interests in lower-end free agents. But Peter, it's an interesting time right now, and the Jays are obviously at a point where fans are clamoring for a move. We all want to see a move. They've yet to make one, but no other team has signed Anthony Santander or Alex Bregman yet, and Jeff Passan came out and said some very interesting things, and he called out the Jays a little bit here. So he actually called the Jays an unmitigated disaster. And he said the Blue Jays are in need of a move. They whiffed on Soto, whiffed on Burns, whiffed on Fried, haven't locked up Vladdy. And every day, obviously, it gets worse as they, head towards a very rough start here. I'm going to dive into his full report. But Peter, just want to get your thoughts on just the current landscape. Jeff Passan called the Jays an unmitigated disaster and said there is time that Toronto are working towards convincing Alex Bregman and Anthony Santander, and sooner than later, he said someone is going to take the money. So he kind of predicts that the Jays are going to land one of Bregman and most likely Santander. Also links them to Tanner Scott here. But, I don't disagree with him. So far, it has been an unmitigated disaster this offseason.
I think that's putting it lightly, if I'm being honest with you, Nick. And let's take a look at the landscape of the American League. We've both been very vocal about this, how open it is. Okay. Now, teams have gotten better, some teams have gotten worse, but there's no clear cut favorite, at least in my mind, right now in the American League. I'd probably put the Yankees at the top, but it's a toss up between a lot of different teams that are in the mix right now. What have the other teams done after losing players? We'll take a look at the Yankees. They lost Juan Soto, who was clearly the best free agent on the market, but I think they got better as a team. Their bullpen got better. Their rotation got better. I think their lineup got deeper with the additions of Bellinger and Goldschmidt. And now the Baltimore Orioles, another team that the Blue Jays are directly chasing, they also have made some moves after losing Corbin Burns. They're rumored to be in on Luis Castillo, the starter from the Mariners. They have signed Tyler O'Neill. They signed Charlie Morton. Not groundbreaking moves by any stretch, but they're adding, which is something that the Blue Jays are not doing. I don't know if they're not trying. I don't know if guys just don't want to come here. I don't know what the issue is, but you have a lot of work that needs to be done, and you've yet to address any of your needs. Yeah, okay, you got Jimmy Garcia. That was a pretty big need. The back end of the bullpen, fine. But you got a glove first infielder when that was the last thing you need. I'm still happy about the trade, but I'd be a lot happier with it if you were to make another move like a Santander or a Bregman. So right now the Blue Jays are going to have to go over their budget. They're going to have to smash that if they want to get even one of these guys, and they're going to have to be comfortable with that, or else they're going to have to come to terms with the fact that they're going to lose Vladdy and Bo for nothing, because there's just no positivity surrounding this club right
now. Yeah, and Jeff Passan mentions that. You can see on the screen here. He also mentions a remade bullpen is a necessity. Tanner Scott could anchor it. There's still plenty enough talent in Toronto, particularly with a rotation that could be the best in the game, but it needs to spend its way to contention. And it says what the Jays have and what can finally take them out of a year-long rut that started with the miss of Shohei Ohtani is money, and sooner rather than later, someone is going to take it. And he also goes on to say, obviously, the Jays have a lot of good things to sell. I'm not really going to read too much into that because they've yet to actually get someone to buy into that because of the lack of players under contract that are going to help into the future. And whether that's Corbin Burns not signing with Toronto because they don't have Vladdy extended, all these different things. Their farm system isn't great, and multiple free agent players have took notice of their bad farm system. There's another interesting report from what he said here. And kind of pivoting into some further updates surrounding Santander. We know that yesterday it dropped, and this is from John Morosi as well as Ari Alexander. Anthony Santander is a player with similar teams interested, with the Tigers and the Blue Jays showing the most interest, and they have made an offer. This was also confirmed by John Morosi. So it's been confirmed now that the Jays have made an offer to Anthony Santander, and The Jays are seen as the front runners at the moment to sign him, according to Ari Alexander. He's seeking 5 years, $100 million. I think the offer now is 4 years, 82. That's what's been rumored from Hector Gomez. So, Peter, it's getting a little bit interesting now, and all the doubts that the Jays haven't offered Santander, they can be put to rest because they 100% have been. But as you start to look at what it's actually going to take, they're still a little bit away. And Cardinals Live dropped an interesting thing here, and he's been getting a lot of things right. He's actually been getting credited by the big reporters here. But he says regarding the Jays, apparently they had a phone call with Santander's camp this weekend at some point, and the tone was positive. But they're close. We're told point blank he's interested in coming. Santander, according to this guy, take it with a grain of salt, if I will, but needs a little more money, really wants that extra year, but AAV seems to be where the Jays want to go. So it seems like at this point, the holdup is the Jays want to go higher, of course, money with less AAV, whereas, of course, it's going to be very interesting. Higher AAV is what the Jays want, and Santander wants more years. So, Peter, some new details coming out surrounding that. An offer's been made, and I think Santander wants 5 by 100, and the Jays are probably offering 4 by 82, or might be willing to go up to 4 by 90 or something similar.
Well, it's a no-brainer at this point, and you're not in a position to penny pinch if you're the Blue Jays. I get it that you have a business model that you need to follow and whatnot, and there's a lot of people that are making those financial decisions that are a lot smarter than both of us in that regard, Nick. But at this point, you are desperate, and to me, this doesn't seem like a team that screams of desperation. Like, if it takes one more year, why was this not done yesterday? Why are you not doing this? He's 29 years old. It's not like he's a 35-year-old in line for a big payday. He's theoretically in the prime of his career here. So maybe the fifth year won't be great, what you're getting production-wise, but it allows you to stay above water, and it allows you to show the guys that are currently on your roster that you're serious about making moves. You've tried to get the big guys. It hasn't worked in over 2 years now. So why not try to get someone that's going to move the needle pretty significantly for you? Santander hit 44 home runs last year. It would have been by far the most on the Blue Jays. Does he get back to that number this season? Remains to be seen, but I think that's worth a $20 million flyer over the course of 5 years. Now, it's steep. It's a steep price to pay for a guy who has his deficiencies as a player, but again, you're not in a position to be picky right now. You have to take on anybody that's willing to take you on. And that's the position that the Blue Jays are in. So it takes an extra year, then so be it. You do that and you get out of town and just go after it.
Yeah, they need to get it done, and hopefully the holdup is just finalizing the details rather than other teams coming in and swooping it. Surrounding Bregman, he's hearing less on Bregman. Doesn't mean that they're out. They're hearing less on the topic. It's been very tight-lipped regarding Alex Bregman and the Toronto Blue Jays, even though, of course, we saw Jeff Passan mention and link the Jays to Bregman as well. But that'll wrap it up. Let us know down below what your thoughts are on this. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest news, and hopefully the Jays make a move soon. And I think Santander is a good first step. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.